Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Student of the Gun Radio. And Zachary, the shipping ogre, and I are in the studio in Saratoga, and joining us live via satellite. Say hello, Zach, before I introduce your brother.
Hi, I'm not being drawn by satellite, but hello. See, you might confuse people.
No, I can see Zachary. Zach and I are in the same building, in the same studio. And joining us via satellite is Jared. Jared, are you there?
Are we still using satellites, or is it just by osmosis now?
No, I think there's still satellites. It's just so common now, we don't even think about it. It's no big deal. It just is. It's part of everyday business. But yeah, there are satellites up there in outer space.
I don't know. Are there? I mean, now that we know the Earth is flat.
Oh, that's right. Work. Yeah, according to the modern genii, the Earth is actually flat, and we've been lied to for the last 500 years.
So,
but Mars isn't, because we have pictures of it.
Yeah, you
from
saw
space.
That picture.
Yeah,
Mars is confirmed to be round
because we have pictures of it from space.
Unlike Earth.
That's funny.
Oh, people are like, "What? What are these guys talking about? That can't be true." No, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about New York terror and cognitive dissonance, and we're going to dive into the mental problems that they have up in the city and the state of New York, and how their mental problems are causing them problems. Of course, being Tuesday, we're going to have a quiet time brought to you by our friends at Silencer Shop. Speaking of silencers and gun mufflers and so forth, somebody asked me a couple of days ago, they said, what do you think about 9mm carbines? And I think this, and there's a lot of things that I think about it, but one of the things I think is one of the benefits of having a 9mm carbine, especially like an AR style carbine, is the fact that if you need to, depending on where your range is, or where you're planning on shooting, indoors or outdoors or whatever, the one good thing about a 9mm carbine is you can slap a gun muffler on there. You can go to silencershop.com if you want and figure out which one you want to buy. But you can slap a gun muffler on a 9mm carbine, and depending on what ammunition you shoot, you can shoot it very, very, very quietly and unobtrusively and not bother anyone else. And especially if you're going to be at an indoor range. A lot of indoor ranges have strict prohibitions against rifles because their backstops aren't set up for that. But you walk in there with a 9mm chambered carbine. Now, you may have a range that's run by idiots, and because the gun is long, it scares them and they don't know what to do about it. But as long as you have a range that's not run by idiots, that's a great way to get some indoor training, is a 9mm carbine with a can on it. So I just thought that was a question that I was asked this weekend, and I thought, well, I'm going to be in front of an audience pretty soon. I'll go ahead and drop that in there. So we got a lot to talk about regarding New York today. So I think we should probably, Jared, you're willing to just jump right into quiet time?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, and don't forget, you only have, you have 3 days left. 3 days, according to my calendar, to get in on the Defendar Inertia Fire, Bump Stop, Slide Fire Stock, whatever you want to call it, giveaway. So go to SOTGgiveaway.com and sign up.
Meet Sid. Sid doesn't text back. Sid does simplify suppressor ownership. Meet Sid, the new interactive kiosk that makes the fingerprinting and paperwork of silencer applications quick, easy, and pain-free. If you're ready to own a silencer, make time to meet Sid, your new buddy in the silencer business. Available at selected Powered by Silencer Shop retailers.
All right, quiet time. You know what I did, Jared, or what we did as a collective group. If you guys have not been, if you haven't gone to studentofthegun.com lately and checked out the Advent calendar videos, we've got Student of the Gun Advent calendar videos that we're running every single day in December up till Christmas. Well, day number 10 was actually myself at the range shooting a 9mm carbine with a can on the end of it. So there you go.
Dude, I forgot some of the guns that you actually did.
Yeah. And the world famous fire extinguisher gun was day 11. So if for some crazy, insane reason you have not seen the fire extinguisher gun yet, the world famous 12 gauge fire extinguisher gun, you need to go over to studentofthegun.com and take a look at it. All right, moving on. So it's quiet time. And normally during our quiet time segments, we talk about intellectual or cerebral affairs. We talk about reading, we talk about studying, we talk about, having the quiet time and so forth. But it doesn't always have to be about reading. It doesn't always have to be about education or sitting down in a chair, and opening a book. Sometimes you just need some quiet time for contemplation. And a lot of men throughout history have known and understood this. Most men, my dad did, my grandfathers did, they had what they called workshops. Now, a workshop is not a den, and a workshop is not a man cave. A workshop is actually a workshop. Yes. And I don't mean at your place of business. I mean at home. When I grew up, most adult men somewhere in what they called home, whether it was in their basement or whether out in their garage or whatever, had a designated workshop. And that was where they went to fiddle with whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what project they're working on. They're rewiring a lamp or they're, fixing a chair or what have you. But a lot of men would go to their workshops for their quiet time. And I'm sure they weren't thinking about it like that, but that's what it was. That's what it amounted to. That it amounted to I'm going to do something with my hands. I'm going to work on a hands-on project, not flipping pages with my finger on an iPad, not watching, how to make Play-Doh structures on YouTube, but actually physically, you laughing? Actually physically getting my hands dirty and doing something. Now, if you guys follow us on the social media or whatever, you know that quite often I'll go out into my own personal workshop, and I like to work on firearms. I like to build guns and change things around and do stuff, and the DuraCoat projects and all that. But that's workshop hands-on stuff. So what I'm going to basically, the piece of advice I'm going to give you guys this week is if you feel like if you're an adult man. And I know women are like, hey, what about, this is not about you. It's not always about you. Calm down. Calm down. The fact of the matter is, if you're a woman or a wife, you want your husband to have a workshop so that he can go out there and get out from under your heels or out of your hair and let you do what you want. Women, you don't want your husband hanging around all day because you got the stuff that you want to do. And he's like, hey, he's like a fully grown adult child that needs your attention. And every once in a while, you need him to go away and go in his workshop. So if you're an adult man and you don't have a designated workshop, I'm not going to say that here's what you need to do. I would recommend it. Because it doesn't always have to be about, like I said, reading or studying. Sometimes you just need a place to go to work on something tangible with your hands and give yourself that quiet time. Do it. Give yourself that quiet time. Reward yourself with that opportunity to go out and work on a project. It doesn't matter what the project is. Like I said, I don't care. But that could be your quiet time. So, it seems strange that I would have to mention that, but I really believe that in this electronic digital age where Netflix and iPads and everything's notional and there's so few hands-on tangible things that we do today. Like think about this. One of our grad, were you up on the thread? One of our grad program members, I guess it was in the Southeast. They got a whole bunch of snow and wind, and they had electricity, but their Wi-Fi went out. Like they had no internet. And he said that the people of the community were losing their minds. They didn't have any internet.
That would probably be pretty relaxing for me.
Yeah, I guess so. My question to you is that, like, if you have no internet, are there other things that you can do with your life? Or are you just going to sit around and stare at the black box waiting for the green light to come back on?
Dude, you know what, though? I was at Alex and I went to the mall the other day, and she went into a place called Sephora, which is, like, not for me. So I didn't go in there. And I went and I sat on a bench and I opened my Kindle app and I was going to read a book. And I realized that, one, I hadn't logged into my Kindle app on this phone yet. And two, I didn't have service, so I could log in. And I was like, now I can't read my freaking book.
Well, you know, knucklehead, that you can download books that are on your phone and are there always.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have a Wi-Fi or a signal, you can.
Yeah, but I wasn't logged into my Kindle app, and that's how you access the downloaded books. So, but I hadn't logged in on this phone yet, so I couldn't get into it. But now I'm in it, so if that happens again, I'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Because, like, right now, I'm going to tell you this. My phone in the studio is on airplane mode. So it is not receiving any outside signal from any satellites or technology or routers or anything. And I just tapped the Kindle app and it opened up Plato's The Republic, and it took me to page 441 where I last left off. Yep. So do that. Okay. All right. That's your quiet time for this week. Do something hands-on. Get your hands dirty. Do something physical. Build something. Repair something. Fix something. Do something real and tangible that you can touch. All right. Crossbreed Holsters does what? What do they do? Well, they build some of the highest quality inside of the waistband holsters you're ever going to wear, but not just those. They make outside of the waistband holsters. They make the purse defender, the bedside backup, the Ojai, what do they call that thing that you put in your backpack? The panel with the thing and all the thing. You know what I'm saying, Jared? The backpacky thing.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
Maybe you have not been to crossbreedholsters.com recently. But any hooser, if you want to be a dedicated gun carrier all the time, not just every once in a while, but like actually all the time, pop over to crossbreedholsters.com. And they will help you out. They will assist you in your journey to be an armed citizen. Yes, indeed, they will.
They've got it's the purse defender, and then they've got the bedside backup as well.
And then they have the last ditch. They call it the last ditch system.
Yeah.
Where you can get a panel, put it inside of your backpack or whatever, and then you can put the various accoutrements. Cuffs and guns and flashlights and stuff like that.
It goes inside the backpack.
It goes inside of the backpack. That's right. All right. Froglube, green, minty fresh. It is a bio-based firearms lubricant. And yes, indeed, I did last week. Was it Saturday or Friday that I did the Froglube video, Jared? Can you remember? It was Friday, wasn't it?
It was just Saturday. No, Sunday.
No. The Froglube
video, man. I don't remember.
I said how to prep your gun for cold weather.
Oh yeah, I think that was Saturday or Friday. I don't remember. But
it was Friday because Saturday morning Zach and I went out to hunt for coyotes.
Oh, that's right.
So it was Friday. But any hooser. So yeah, if you're going to put Froglube Extreme on a gun that you're going to take out into the cold, you actually want to do the maintenance in your shop inside. You don't want to be doing the maintenance out in 20 degrees or whatever. So if you'd like to see the video, you can go to studentofthegun.com/Facebook. If you'd like to buy Froglube products, you can get Froglube products from them at froglube.com or from Brownells or from your favorite lubricant supplier. Century Arms, the sweetest smelling arms maker in the U.S. of A. And yes, I did tinker around with a Century Arms gun this weekend. If you guys are following us on the social media, Instagram or Facebook, and shame on you if you have Instagram and you're not following us. But I decided to take the TP9 SFL, that's right, the SFL for long barrel, and put a little bit of a DuraCoat on it. And there are pictures up if you'd like to see them. If you'd like to know what Century Arms has to offer you, well, you can go to centuryarms.com and check out everything they have to offer. DuraCoat, because life is too short to have an ugly gun, beginning and end of sentence. Or, you know what I did, Jared? I don't think it's ugly, but it's not pretty. You know what I mean?
What is it?
The projects that I did this weekend, they're not ugly, but they're not pretty. They're rough. And I guess that's the eye of the beholder, right?
Woof, woof.
Woof, woof. So, we this weekend I basically did what I followed the hell and back distressed package. DuraCoat has all kinds of different kits and camouflage patterns and things that you can do to your guns to make them look unique. And one of the unique things they came up with a couple of years ago was what they called the hell and back distressed kit. And you get certain components and so on and so forth. You buy the kit, go to their YouTube, and you watch a YouTube video, and it tells you exactly how to do it to make your gun look battle worn. So it doesn't look brand new, shiny out of the box. Now it looks battle worn. And I never done it. And I thought, what the heck? I'm going to try it this weekend. So I did watch the video. I watched the how-to video. And the one thing that I change is usually the hell and back packages are like earth tones, like tan and brown and, olive drab green and kind of stuff like that. Instead of using the earth tones, though, because I am in the great white north of Wyoming, I decided to use white. And I used their it's called Urban Mirage White. And it's kind of a white gray color. Anyway, you guys can look at the pictures, but I think it came out pretty well. If you guys would like to camouflage your guns or reblue your guns, or just, if you got an ugly gun and you want it to not be ugly anymore, well, I bet you our friends can help you out. Go to Lauer Weaponry, Lauer weaponry.com and shop around. And last but certainly not least, our good friends at Brownells. Brownells has got a special for you. What is that special? I don't know. Find out for yourself. Go to freaking Brownells.com, sign up for their newsletter, and you can find out what's on sale, what's discounted, what they have new product-wise, all that crazy jazz. That'll help you when you go into your shop to work on your projects. Yes, indeed.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Das geht an die Oma des letzten Propheten Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ich bin Allah so dankbar, ein Muslim sein zu dürfen. Das geht an die Oma, wir sind die Oma. Check das aus. Bismillah. Die Islam ist die Wahrheit.
Man, those things were angry today.
Oh, yeah, the Religion of Peace music, the Religion of Peace update theme. All right, so today we're going to talk about the New York attack, because if we don't do it today, by tomorrow or the next day, it will no longer be news, because that's the way it works in the United States of America. We've become so accustomed to being attacked by the Religion of Peace and Brotherhood that we don't even, Jared, I was trying to find specific stories, and if you go to your favorite search engine and just type in New York City terror attack, you're bombarded. Now, you'll get the latest one, but then there's dozens. So first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about a psychological problem called, well, it's an issue called cognitive dissonance. And you guys are going to have to stick with me here because this is important stuff. All right. So right now, New York is dealing with yet another terrorist attack. Yes, yet another one. How long have we been playing this game? And you say, well, since September 11th, 2001. No, actually, we haven't. One of the first serious major terror attacks on United States soil was the Twin Towers attack in 1993. Yeah, remember that? You remember the 1993 Twin Towers attack, don't you, Jared?
Oh, absolutely.
And you're like, no, I don't, Dad. Yeah, if you go to 1993 World Trade Center bombing, and you find out that the perpetrators were Ramzi Youssef and Iyad Ismail, and their motive was Islamic fundamentalism. What? That's racist. Yeah. So at least, let's just say 25 years. Can we say 25 years of radical Muslim Islamic terror in the United States of America and in New York City? Well, Paul, what does that have to do with cognitive dissonance? Okay, I went ahead and plugged cognitive dissonance up into the search engine, and I came up with a hit from Simply Psychology, and the you know who this is related to, Jared? It says Simply Psychology, and then it says Home Attitudes, Cognitive Dissonance, Maslow. Remember Maslow? Our boy Maslow and his hierarchy of needs?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look, a gander here. Cognitive dissonance refers to a situation involving conflicting attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors. This produces a feeling of discomfort, leading to an alteration of in one of the attitudes, beliefs, or behavior to reduce the discomfort and restore balance. For example, when people smoke, that is a behavior, and they know that smoking causes cancer, that's a cognition. So they have to, well, let's just go ahead and continue. Festinger's 1957 cognitive dissonance theory suggests that we have an inner drive to hold all of our attitudes and beliefs in harmony and avoid disharmony or dissonance. This is known as the principle of cognitive consistency. You're like, Paul, you're like, I didn't come here for Psychology 101. But it matters. It does matter. Cognitive dissonance was first investigated by Leon Festinger, arising out of a participant observation study of a cult which believed that the earth was going to be destroyed by a flood, and what happened to its members, particularly the really committed ones who had given up their homes and jobs to work for the cult when the flood did not happen. Okay, so we got a cult. They believe the world is going to be destroyed by a flood. They sell all their property. They go to work for the cult. Then the flood doesn't happen. It's kind of like, what do people who like predict the end of the world do, and the end of the world doesn't end? They're like, well, no, it might have ended today, but while fringe members were more inclined to recognize that they had made fools of themselves, and just to put it down to experience, committed members were more likely to reinterpret the evidence to show that they were right all along. The earth was not, in fact, destroyed because of the faithfulness of the cult members. So you say, Paul, how is it that cognitive dissonance works into the current situation in the city of New York? Okay. Well, what do we have today, or not today, yesterday, as you're listening to this? You woke up, you're drinking your coffee, you went to work, and bam, there's an attack, a terror attack in the city of New York. And time.com has got one here. It says, Port Authority Times Square explosion. Authorities said a 27-year-old man set off an explosive device that was strapped to his body at New York City's Port Authority on Monday. That was Monday, December 11th, in a, quote, terror-related attack that minimally injured 3 bystanders and seriously wounded the suspect. So this guy's not very good at his craft. He tried really hard, but he wasn't very successful. The suspect, who was authorities identified as Timothy O'Leary, a fine Irish Catholic boy. No, wrong answer. Who authorities identified as Akied Uala. Akied Uala. I think that Akied Uala is probably a fine Irish Catholic boy. Don't you, Jared? He's a fine. No, he's not. And Irish Catholics are getting mad at me like, no, he's not. But he was wearing a device when it went off about 7:20 a.m. New York time in an underground walkway near the Times Square shuttle. NYPD Commissioner James O'Neill said he was taken into custody with serious injuries and burns and lacerations on his hands and abdomen, and he's currently being hospitalized. Oh, you want to know what Bill the Commie de Blasio had to say about it? Bill the Commie de Blasio. This was an attempted terrorist attack, Bill the Commie de Blasio said in a news conference. Thank God. Hold it. I didn't think communists believed in God. Jared, aren't communists supposed to be atheists?
That's what I hear.
I mean, you cannot acknowledge and appreciate and respect the existence of a divine deity, God with a capital G, and be a communist at the same time, because God gets in the way of the state and communism. So I think he doesn't. I don't really think Bill de Blasio believes and faithfully worships the divine deity, because if he did, he wouldn't be a communist like he is. But according to Bill de Blasio's statement, see, the thing is, de Blasio is not speaking to his own personal beliefs. He's speaking to what he knows the majority of his audience is, and he knows the majority of his audience believes in a divine deity and a supreme being. Thank God the perpetrator did not achieve his ultimate goals. Here's what we know so far. Okay. Derpity derp derp derp. So we have an unsuccessful terrorist attack in New York City, and you're like, oh my Lord, that's terrible. How did this happen? How did this situation with Ahid? Did you see how to pronounce that name, Jared? It's like Dirk Allah, Muhammad Jihad. Ahid Ullah. Well, Ahid Ullah. You say, but Ahid Ullah, obviously, this is, Jared, you know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the lone wolf. Yeah, this is a lone wolf attack, and in no way has anything to do with the religion of peace and brotherhood. Except when you have attack after attack after attack after attack. You guys have a search engine available? You do? Type in Home Depot truck attack. The Home Depot truck attack. Where did that happen, Jared? Was that in Boston? Was that in Chicago? No. The Home Depot truck attack was only, well, it was on Monday, November 6th, 2017. So just a wee bit more than 1 month ago. Note found on truck claim Manhattan attack done for ISIS, source says. We have a radicalized jihadist who rented a truck, ran over a bunch of people, killed them, then jumped out and was going to kill more people until one of NYPD's finest put some bullets in him. Remember the young Southern Baptist lad who committed the truck attack in New York in November? Saifullah Habulyada. Sorry, dude, I'm not going to pronounce your name. From Uzbekistan. What? Who was inspired by ISIS, who put the ISIS flag on the dashboard of the truck so that there would be no question. Because remember, what if we found out? ISIS has been trying to claim responsibility for these attacks, and then because we want to downplay the whole Islamic terror thing, they want to, it doesn't do people like de Blasio. It doesn't increase their PR when it doesn't help them when they have to admit that this was an organized, deliberate attack by Muslims. It's easier when they can say, "Oh, this was a lone wolf who had mental problems." Remember when the two young immigrants from a Muslim country, when they blew up the bombs in Boston and maimed a whole bunch of people? And rather than admit that was a Muslim terrorist attack, where they say, "Oh, well, the one brother, he had serious mental issues, and this is nothing. We don't know that this is tied to Islam or Muslim terrorism. I mean, it's just that he had personal problems." Yeah, that's it exactly. So ISIS is trying to claim responsibility for these things, and they're getting thwarted by American liberals who don't want to admit, because why? They can't admit it because what does that do? What does that do, ladies and gentlemen? It sets their mental comfort zone off. Now they have discomfort because for all this time they've been saying religion of peace and brotherhood and the beauty of the call to worship and the derpa, right? They've spewed all this bull crap out of their mouths for so long. They go stand around and say religion of peace and Islamophobia. And then the same people that they're defending slaughter their fellow citizens, and they're like, I feel this mental discomfort. I can't admit that I was wrong. So what I'll say is, this was a lone wolf attack, and the individual had serious mental issues, and yada, yada, yada. Ladies and gentlemen, that's cognitive dissonance. So starting in 1993, and I don't have a complete list because the list is too extensive, but we had the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center attack in 93, committed by Muslims. The 9/11 2001 attacks committed by Muslims. Coming up more recently, Home Depot truck attack in New York City. And this is just New York City. This is not the whole United States, just New York itself. Home Depot attack, Muslims. Port Authority attack today, Muslims. Hatchet attack. You're like, hatchet attack? Yeah. Remember when little Johnny Jihad went on a hatchet attack running around? This is after little Johnny douchebag Jihad was over there Skyping an interview. Remember when little Johnny douchebag Jihad over in Syria Skyping an interview back to New York, talking about his brothers? We have brothers in New York. We have brothers all over. Dirk, inshallah. Remember that, Jared? When
yeah, I do.
When your enemy tells you, when he said, we have brothers in New York City, in Canada, in Toronto, we have them there, and you will receive many attacks, inshallah. Dirk, raping goats, inshallah. And then what happened after that Skype interview? Well, you had two separate attacks in Canada. Oh, lone wolf attacks. Then you had little Johnny Jihad here went psycho on the street in New York and started attacking people with a hatchet. And what did they say? Oh, no. It says attacker with hatchet is said to have grown radical on his own. That's the story from the New York Times. That is the propaganda that you're being fed by the New York Times. This wasn't a conspiracy. It wasn't the Islamic State. It wasn't Al-Qaeda. This guy radicalized himself. Why do you write a story where you say that even after the little Johnny Jihad Skypes an interview to a reporter in New York and says, We have brothers on the street right now who will bring many attacks to you. Dirk Allah, Muhammad Jihad, right? Your enemy looks in your face and says, yeah, we have people there in place to kill you. And then within a week, 2 weeks, a month, that happens. And they do attack you. And what do you say? He radicalized himself. Canada was a lone wolf attack by self-radicalized. What is that, ladies and gentlemen? That's cognitive dissonance. You can't admit that you were wrong. You can't admit that your whole religion of peace thing has been crap this whole time. I'm waiting. I swear, if the media doesn't drop this New York story by tomorrow or the next day, if they don't drop it, what they'll do is they'll gin up some kind of a story about how this guy had, personal problems and everything except the fact that he was a radicalized Muslim. Everything but that. You guys up in New York, in the New York area, remember when your communist mayor went to the rally in February 20th, 2017? De Blasio stood in a rally in New York and said, I am a Muslim too. Yep, that's wonderful. Isn't that wonderful? That's wonderful. So not only, we also have the definition of insanity here. We have one organization, one group, and I'm not even going to call them a religion. We have a death cult who has committed atrocity. Oh, Jared, did you see this? Yeah. You guys remember? I know you don't because, when these things happen, they're just kind of like, yeah, that happened, but we're all done thinking about it now because we have the attention span of a housefly. 2 New York City police officers were assassinated while they sat in their police car. And you say, yeah, but that was because a man was angry. The newspaper stories we were fed was that the person who assassinated 2 police officers in their car, he did that because he was angry over the death of Eric Garner and the shooting of Michael Brown. And that was his way of getting revenge. Really? Do you know what his name was, Jared?
I don't remember.
It wasn't Michael Jefferson. It was Ismail Abdullah Brinsley. Which death cult on planet Earth has people named Abdullah? Is that Southern Baptists?
Buddhists.
I know it's those Buddhist monks again. They're at it again. Now here's the thing. The story that we were force-fed by the media was that this guy was so angry about police brutality in America. And this is a product of Comrade Barry. Don't ever forget that. But he was so angry about that at poor Michael Brown, the felon, poor Eric Garner. He was so angry about that. Now, Eric Garner didn't deserve to die. Eric Garner was actually murdered by New York City police officers because, well, why was Eric Garner in custody? What was his crime? He was selling untaxed cigarettes. He was selling cigarettes from packs without a tax stamp. Eric Garner died in police custody because of the crime of failing to pay taxes. Don't ever forget that. Okay. And you say, well, all right, well, this guy, this Ismail Abdullah, he was just, taking revenge for them. What you have to do, though, is you have to dive way deeper into the story, and you find out that Ismail Abdullah Brinsley was not a choir boy. He was actually had ties with the Black Guerrilla family, a prison gang, and also the Nuwaubian Nation. What? Why am I just now hearing this, Paul? Well, because this doesn't fit into the narrative that poor Ismail Abdullah just did that because, well, he was angry over the treatment of poor criminal Michael Brown. No. And you say, well, what is the Nuwaubian Nation? I'm glad you asked. The Nuwaubian Nation, or the Nuwaubian Movement, is a religious organization founded by and led by Dwight York. York began founding black Muslim groups in New York in 1967. Now, one of the things that you may remember from Ismail Abdullah was head to toe in Muslim regalia when he assassinated those two police officers. But Paul, I wasn't told that. I wasn't told that Ismail Abdullah was a Muslim that assassinated two police officers in New York. What I was told is that he was so angry over the police brutality in America that he just couldn't stop himself from taking revenge. Yep, that's what you were told, weren't you? And you wouldn't know about his past or his connections because, well, we're not going to tell you that. And if we do, we're going to bury it on page 13 or page 27, and you'll never find out. So here we have New York City, just New York City, not even the United States of America. And I just named off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I named 8 separate attacks, terrorist attacks in the city of New York by Muslims. Yeah, by Muslims. And what does the communist mayor say? Today I am a Muslim too. And what is de Blasio really worried about? He's worried that after these terrorist attacks, that there will be a spike in Islamophobia in America. And that's wrong. That's wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to know why the people of New York continue to be maimed, burned, hacked, slashed, smashed on the head with hatchets, shot to death in their police cars, blown up in buildings? This little thing called cognitive dissonance, because they can't actually admit that they're wrong and that something is wrong. And because if they do that, it makes them uncomfortable. It can't be when my enemy looks me in the face and says, Inshallah, we're going to kill you. Then he starts doing it. That can't be it. It has to be something else. Because if I admit that that's a problem, well, then I have to admit that I've either been wrong or I've lied all these years. And I'm certainly not going to do that. When you're a communist like de Blasio and his ilk, when you're an American liberal, when you're an American progressive Democrat, you can't admit that you were wrong and that you lied all this time, and that maybe the religion of peace is not really a religion of peace. Maybe they don't want to coexist with you. Maybe they actually want to kill you. And bringing in all these death cult monsters from these countries who've sworn to destroy us, probably not a great idea. No, must be something else. It's a lone wolf attack. That's it exactly. All right, guys, that's it for today. Chew on that for a while, if you will. Tomorrow on Student of the Gun Radio, California fires suicidal liberalism, and we're going to detail that in great detail for you guys. And, of course, because it's Wednesday, we will have a fighting fitness segment for you. Remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.